I don't know why all of a sudden I kind of want to cry right now. It wasn't until I watched Illumination's video where I was like, yo, I gotta go get checked. Mind works differently. And that's not your fault. I don't know why all of a sudden I kind of want to cry right now. First off, don't mind the clothes and stuff behind me. That's my mom-in-law stuff. And I did not move it before I started recording. Oh, I overthink everything. I do. Because now I'm like, does that prove more that I have ADHD? Like, I'm on my period. That's why I want to cry. That's why I want to cry. Okay, so if you have not seen Illumination's video, why I didn't have ADHD until now, go check that out. The link to that is in the description box below, so you can go ahead and watch it. I did a reaction to it, and that reaction might be out already as well before this, or it might come out after this. I don't really know when my husband will have time to edit it and post it since he's taking today off. But I did the reaction a couple days ago, and it was one of those things where it just really put me in a mindset that I need to seriously get checked and assessed to see if I have ADHD. ADHD was one of those things that, you know, everybody, especially right now, they are being diagnosed, and more so in the mindset of being aware. I don't think that, I'm not a conspiracy theorist on the matter, right? I'm not like,
oh, everybody's got ADHD, then I'm give it to everybody, you know?
But more so in the mindset that information is different now. So being able to understand or know when someone has it is easier now. And I don't think it's a thing that people are just now getting ADHD. I think it's something that they've been had, but were not able to get diagnosed before now. Very, very, very similar to the PCOS/PMOS situation, where a lot of people, there's so many people who don't even know they have PCOS because of the certain ways in which doctors looked at PCOS, right? Or even people looked at PCOS and what they thought that meant versus what it actually means. And now the name having to change in order to really put it in a framework so people can take it more seriously and understand it more. And then more people will get diagnosed because they'll see, oh yeah, it might be me. I need to go get checked. And that's kind of what's happening with ADHD. And let's start off with, people have told me that I might have it, but I never took it seriously. It wasn't until I watched Illumination's video, when I was reacting to her video, where I was like, yo, I gotta go get checked. I gotta go get checked. It was honestly one of those kismet things, because literally the day after I recorded the react, I had an appointment with my psychiatrist. And then the day after that, I had an appointment with my therapist already set. So when I saw her video, I was like, yo, I'm going to talk to my psychiatrist tomorrow. Might as well throw that in and see what happens. And the same thing with my therapist. Throw that in and see what happens. Remember, I'm on my period right now. And I feel a little emotional right now. So if you see tears, it may or may not be my period, or it may or may not be a healing cry. I just can't be clear on the matter at this moment. But in a few days, I'll be able to discern whether what I feel is hormonal, or, man, does period not make you be able to talk? Not make you, you know what? Y'all just gonna have to do what it do, okay? Shake it, bake, baby, shake it, bake. Now in her video, she talked about what she grew up to believe ADHD looks like, right? And it's a thing that a lot of us looked at it as, the kid that runs around and can't sit still and has to interrupt every 5 seconds because they're just on a different level and their like energy is super high and they need to take medication in order to focus and calm down, sit down, and right? And if that was not you, you would disassociate yourself from the potential of having ADHD. And that's what I did. And some of my friends have mentioned that they have ADHD, right? And some of their symptoms, like one of their symptoms that has been like the most common one that my friends have shared is like, let's say they get a text and they look at the text to reply back to the text, and then they instantly get distracted, go over, and then next time they come back, it's been like 4 months, you know? And I'm like, well, that's not necessarily my issue, right? And I think that I would justify a lot of things with the fact that I have a very extremely overwhelmingly busy life. I am a mom and my daughter does her schooling from home. I have a business that I run, a couple businesses that I run, and I run them all from home. So literally, this is something I was talking to with my therapist about, is literally I could be like, hey, I need to go to the kitchen to put something away. And on the way there, so many things will happen that will distract me. And then next thing I know, I never went to the kitchen to do what it is that I was supposed to do. So I would say that it's my life that, was distracted, not me that was distracted. I really, really am near to tears right now. God help us. God help us. One of the other factors that she used to think like, hey, this is proof I don't have it, is because of grades, right? I had really good grades in school. I was National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, okay? I had high SAT scores. Which was funny because I never had peace during a test. I used to say I never tested well, but that's not true. I never had peace during a test. And that's more proof. The ability to focus and rein it in was not where it should have been, which I'm having that realization right now, because I used to say, oh, I don't test well. But the truth is, I passed the majority of my tests. I had really good grades. I was either top 50 or top 25 of my school when I was in high school, right? Like I said, National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society. I took AP classes. I passed all but one of them. Well, one I did pass. It's D passed? No, I think I got a D in that class. But, that pours back into the ability to focus and get things and your patience with that, right? But for the majority of the time, I had really, really good grades. So when you think of someone who has ADHD, they're like the person that has to stay after school to get extra help. They need extra tutoring because they cannot focus. And because I was never that bad, I didn't look at it as like something I had. I think one of the things that we need to do as a society is more analyzing, because if I had instead sat down and analyzed one for one all possible symptoms of ADHD and then all symptoms that I might match with those, I would have taken it more seriously earlier when I originally opened my mind to seek help, especially with mental health. Another misconception she talked about was the aspect of success. And I have succeeded in a lot of things, a lot of things. So I completely related to her on the aspect of what misconceptions we believed people with ADHD had on the surface level, because when I think of one of my friends, I have two friends in mind that have ADHD. One friend has had leagues and mounds of success, right? The other friend has mentioned how ADHD has made it almost impossible for her to have success. And not in the way of, hey, I have ADHD, so I'm a failure mindset, not at all, but more so the issues that ADHD causes her when it comes to getting from planning to execution of any ideas or any thoughts or any, and how tumultuous that can be for her. And my mindset would be like, hey, I get a lot of things done, but I guess not. My mindset is, hey, I have done a lot of things and I have done a lot of idea to execution when it comes to creative projects and ideas and things like that. But having the conversation with my psychiatrist and therapist has illuminated the fact heavily that there are so many things that I have not yet finished. There are so many things, whether it has been a creative project or a hobby project or a work-related project, that I have had the ideas and never took the first step. And then there are so many ideas that I had the idea, took some steps, and never finished. That kind of goes into the section of symptoms that I found matching from what Illy Mation had mentioned in her video that made me be like, you know what? I'm going to see my psychiatrist tomorrow anyways. Let me get assessed. Let me bring it up. Let's discuss it. One of them, I have like a list up over here, but one of them is difficulty starting tasks. It's probably one of the hardest things to do, despite the fact that I have done a lot of things. It's like having a million ideas, right? And out of the million ideas, let's say I've completed 1,000 of them. Well, there are 500,000 300,000 that I have thought of and never took the first steps. I had difficulty starting it. And then there's the 600,000, right? Am I doing my math right? Yeah. What? No, I finished 1,000, right? Or 100,000. Girl, let's forget the math. Just putting in perspective, I have a higher percentage of ideas that I have started. At the top of it is ideas that I've started but never finished. Then there's ideas I thought of and never started. And then there's ideas that from idea to start to finish have been completed. And that percentage is a lot smaller than the other ones. She mentioned having procrastination that was difficult to control and how it even influenced the inability to take care of basic tasks for yourself in your home. And I resonated with that. I think I said resignated the first time, but resonated with that heavily. I have, for the longest time, always had an issue with self-care, taking care of myself. And that was a realization that came along when I brought it up to my therapist, right? And my psychiatrist. But they both asked me a set of questions, a little varying, but also a little similar, to do a pre-assessment, so to speak, right? And the question that they would ask that really made me have a moment is when, they would go over different symptoms and I would say yes or no or what have you. And then the question of when would come up. How long have I been this way? Or when did I start to notice those specific symptoms? And I noticed two things. There were some symptoms that I always had, right? That were always present, I will say, because I think I had all these symptoms the whole entire time, but they were always present. And that was procrastination. I was always a procrastinator my whole entire life. Even when it came to schoolwork, I had a lot of projects or a lot of homework and things like that I waited to the last minute to do it. And occasionally I would have some that I didn't even finish in time to get to turn in. And I remember there was this huge English project and I had resolved myself to just take the L because I was not going to get it in time. And it was one of those situations where a lot of the times I would be like, hey, can I get a little bit more time? Right? If the teacher brought it up. But there was a time where the teacher talked to me and I was just like, I can't do it. And she's like, you can't even do a little bit of it? And I was like, no, I can't do it. And she said, okay. And just gave me, took that percentage off or whatever the grade, she gave me what I deserved as far as the grade. I do have the capability to be hyper-focused about things that I do really like. There was one time I was doing something and my husband was like, babe, it's like you took on a part-time job that you're not getting paid for. And that was like a hit. I was like, yo, I have to take a breather. I have to calm down. I was doing too much. As far as the list of things that I have done, my whole entire life, I guess you could say, procrastination is one of them. I would say being mentally overwhelmed by day-to-day tasks and responsibilities was something that happened my whole life. Difficulty being organized and staying organized. Whole life. As far as other things that did not become present until a certain point, or worsen, I would say mentally being overwhelmed by everyday responsibilities worsened after a certain point. Forgetfulness and difficulty to stay organized also worsened after a certain point. Horrible time management worsened after a certain point. And the certain point that I realized it was after I left my family. I had an abusive childhood. And in that, you don't really, when it comes to being cluttered, one of the complaints I told my therapist and my psychiatrist is how I am an extremely cluttered person, which is a resolve I have found myself to be able to acknowledge as of late. And I know my husband will be like, yes, hallelujah, she's finally seeing it. But my office desk, cluttered. My side of the bedroom, cluttered. My side of the bathroom, cluttered. When I'm in the kitchen, clutter. When I'm in the living room, clutter. And my husband does constantly have to remind me, hey babe, can you put this away? Can you pack this up? Can you put this away? Can you, gather these things? And I just would feel like, okay, it's invisible to me. And that's just my thing. It's just invisible to me. But it wasn't until Illumination's video that I realized yo, no, it's something more. And when my therapist and psychiatrist both asked me, when did that start? I realized that was when I left my childhood home. When you're in an abusive childhood, you don't really want to be seen. You try to be invisible. And that included keeping my space clean, or relative clean enough. Okay. It wasn't spick and span, but clean enough to where there's not yet another reason to get hit or yelled at or talked to in a horrible manner. So it was when I left home that once that pressure was removed from my day-to-day, my life, I think that's when the symptom became present. It was always there, but it became present because that pressure, that torment was gone. So it was like, hey, you know that meme of the hey, as she walks in. That's just like, it was always there, but it became present after that. And I remember having issues when I lived with my uncle, and he would have issues and his wife would have issues with me about how I kept my room and when I was downstairs and when I used dishes, when I cooked and things like that. And I, at the time, felt singled out and just felt like I wasn't a part of the family. I just felt like I wasn't part of the family. They are well within their rights to have an issue with someone moving in with them and leaving messes everywhere, well within their rights. But at the time, that wasn't anything I could see. I had just left my childhood home, and that's not something, you live with something for 18 years. It's not something you can just turn off and be healed. And let's not act like I was on a true path of healing, because I wasn't. That realization that it's something I've had since before then, but was present then. So I talked to my psychiatrist, and funny enough, right before I had brought it up, she had asked me, she does her questionnaire with me, because she does a questionnaire with me every time I see her. I see her on a monthly basis. And a part of it is like rating my level of anxiety and things like that. And I had rated high because I have been feeling a lot more overwhelmed lately and a lot more stressed lately. So I shared that. And she had said, I shared that, we did the rating. And then I was like, hey, I would like to get assessed for ADHD. And then we were having that conversation. And when we came to the conclusion of that conversation, she had mentioned how a lot of symptoms that can come off of having severe anxiety can mimic symptoms of ADHD. So her recommendation was to increase my fluoxetine for my depression and anxiety by 10 milligrams to see how it affects me. And if my anxiety goes down and the symptoms go down, then we know that it's more so related to anxiety. If they don't go down, then we know that there could be something else. So I'm gonna be reassessed in about a month, or we'll do a full proper assessment in about a month. I have already started the new medication, and I do feel a sense of calm in my body that that shows that shows directly that I have been affected physically by my anxiety. It's not to the level that it was. I do want to say that. It's not to the level that it was. And I'm not going to lie, I did feel the fact that it made me feel a little better. Now, I don't feel like a zombie at all. I'm still me. I'm still, happy to chat, still me. I did feel like, oh, my anxiety was so overwhelming that even though I've taken leaps and bounds in a direction of improvement, there's still more to go. And for anybody else who feels like I feel or has felt like I feel right now, I'm saying this for you and for me. This does not make you weak. It doesn't make you less than. It does not mean that you might as well just throw in the towel. It does not mean that you're a failure. It does not mean that you're a bad person. It's just your mind works differently, and that's not your fault. That's not your fault. It's not your fault that your mind just works differently. I am so grateful for my husband, because after I talked to my therapist or my psychiatrist, I told him how I brought it up to him. And he, of course, made some jokes, as he would, but he was proud of me for taking those steps, which makes you feel more encouraged and less like a basket case. I remember there was a time where I could not even trust my own thoughts. That's how bad it was. I couldn't trust my own thoughts. I couldn't trust my own emotions. I couldn't trust my own mind. And I'm not there anymore. I'm in a far better place mentally. Oh, I'm in a far better place mentally. And I just have to give myself grace about this journey. You know what? It took 18 years for the childhood abuse situation to end. And then, some additional traumas later on in life. So realistically, if it took, let's say 22 years of trauma to build this person, then realistically, it would take more than 2 to 3 years of consistent mental health decisions to heal. And I need to remember that. And it doesn't mean finding more things does not mean that I'm not already taking the right steps to heal or be better. I am taking the right steps to heal. I am taking the right steps to be better. And I'm sharing that with you. So I will keep you updated on this journey, this specific part of the journey. Side note, when I cleaned my desk, I can't show you the before because it was really, really bad, but I can show you the after, and I have done it. It is done. My therapist did give me some tips. One that I'll share with the cluttered space thing is, she called it the home base technique, I believe that's what it's called. Home base method, where you choose a part of your room or a part of your house that you're going to clean for the next hour. And this is your home base. This is where you stay for that time. And you bring a container where anything that does not belong in that space, you put it in that container. You don't leave the space. You don't leave the room. You just put it in that container. That helped me so much, because so many times I'll take something, I'm like, oh, this goes in the living room, and I go to the living room from my office, and then something else happens, and then I either never make it back to my room, or I come back way later and I do a lot less than I had anticipated. So I can show you this, because I literally did this cleaning right before recording this video. This is my container for my home base, and all the things that were not meant for my office are in here. What I'm gonna do is make myself a plate of food, sit in the living room, put some of that stuff away, and be done. I also have a trash bag with trash that was on my desk. I bleach wiped it as well, and I am proud of myself. I got it done. Box checked. Is done. Now I just have to do my side of the bathroom, which I'm not going to share before and after of that. And my side of the bedroom, which again, I'm not going to show before and after, but I'll just let you know and keep you updated on, hey, it's done. Y'all can check in with me too. Okay. Be like, girl, did you finish it yet, boo-boo? I'll let you know. But thank you for watching this. Thank you for taking the moment to take in who I am and how I feel in this very moment. Thank you for giving me grace on this journey. Shout out to Illymation and her video, because that really, I watched it. It was like, you know what? Let's go take care of it, and had conversations that were needed, that brought things to light, to the forefront of my journey, and made some changes. I have been consistent with taking the medication. I will be even more consistent and a lot more purposeful with it. And we'll see which benefits we shall reap from this decision and this journey and taking these steps. All right. Let me know your stories and how you feel. Let me know down below, and I'll see you again. Peace.